For so long, I struggled with like, why a Christian upbringing? Why so much like repression and so much shame and so much fear and so much judgment and all these things that a lot of my Midwest babies can identify with, and I realize now as I'm reaching like my 40s, all of it was perfectly set up for me to become this person that I am.
The way I pose for the cameras, they be like, whoa.
Hello and welcome to, we're doing a double feature today because it sounds fucking juicy. We're going to be on the Rage Room YouTube podcast today and doing Qveen Herby's exclusive interview for Auralis magazine, her holiday issue this year in 2026. And I am so excited because we just were having the conversation before we hopped on that we like to be multifaceted and we're allowed to do that in 2026. So she's like double feature, she's like double interview, she's like double podcast, and let's go. And I'm really excited to have this conversation. And I would love to know how the new year is treating you so far, because wow, was 2025 a wreck.
It was absolutely like good riddance 2025, welcome 26. I'm trying to also now integrate everything I learned last year and kind of like brace, like re-anchoring myself into this new world that we're living in.
I mean, it's absolutely, it's crazy because like I'm a numbers person. And so when I see certain numbers or like dates or times, it really gets me going. I'm like, okay, what is supposed to be revealed to me right now? Or like if I wake up in the middle of the night and I have really bad fucking eyesight, but like if I see the clock perfectly, I'm like, okay, God's trying to tell me something. Like I need to listen. And it was crazy because as soon as we hit midnight on New Year's, I felt like I was living in a new paradigm. Like it was so crazy. 2025 was insane. And I am still trying to ground myself in. And so, yeah, that I totally resonate with that. And I know a lot of our listeners resonate with that too, because hey, I attract very, diverse, neurodivergent, crazy, insane, delusional visionaries. So, hey. Cool. Well, I'm excited to have this conversation. And I just want to say that your music has literally saved my life. And I say that because, when you just hear something and it moves your body and it helps trigger a new thought process to the point of it's like, okay, that's what I meant to do. That's what your music does for me. So I just wanted to let you know that. I wanted to give my moment of like the 15-second fangirling because I feel like I deserve that.
Thank you. It never gets old hearing it. And thank you. Honored to be in your orbit, babe.
Absolutely. Yes, I feel it too. Okay, cool. I want to go back to your upbringing and I want to know what in the hell happened that you have blossomed into this like energetic force that alchemized whatever the fuck happened in your life into such beautiful, positive reinforcement for women. Like I really want to know, and you can go as deep as you want, but my understanding is that you grew up in a conservative Christian household. And so how has that helped transform you into the woman that you are now? But also, is that still a part of your life?
It's such a great question. And yes, for both. It set me up perfectly. For so long, I struggled with like, why a Christian upbringing? Why so much like repression and so much shame and so much fear and so much judgment and all these things that a lot of my Midwest babies can identify with, and I realize now as I'm reaching like my 40s, all of it was perfectly set up for me to become this person that I am. But you do have to move through that whole period of confusion and anger and who am I blaming and why did this happen? It was spirituality and like witchy shit that really saved me and gave me the perspective, time, becoming fully independent when I left Nebraska for the first time. Went to Boston for music school, and it was my first time being free and on my own in a huge city at the time. That was a very big city, and blowing up on YouTube and ending up in LA, which I've been here now over a dozen years. I'm so grateful for how it all happened. And to any of my babes who are listening that are still going through that, like trying to understand why their lives are this way, try the best you can to trust that it's all meant to be. and that you can find the beautiful silver linings in all of it. And like you said, alchemize it into something magical that hasn't existed. A more spiritual answer is I think that my dad actually manifested all of this. And the last person I
Explain.
would, the last person in the world I would, he still, I think, sometimes struggles with like my expression, like the things I choose to do specifically. But he told me once recently that he named my middle name is Renee, which means rebirth, reborn. And it was after his mother had passed away that he had wished for this. And I was the first kid. I'm like, Dad, when were you going to tell me this? Reborn? Like, this is kind of, now we're getting into reincarnation. Now we're talking about, and that is not something that traditional Christian households think about. And I don't think he even consciously connected those two things. And of course, now I'm at the place where I'm like, every soul either has been here before, or I've read a really good book about how all the memories of our ancestors live in our DNA. So my grandmother is living through me somehow. So now I'm deep in like the ancestors and talking to her, and wow, she's a bad bitch. And
This is
I'm literally on the path living the life that I think that her wildest dreams didn't even contain. So I'm so grateful. And to anyone listening who doesn't know why they're here and doing what they're doing, there's definitely some magical reason. And listen to Queen Herbie if you're lost, because all that's coded into my music.
it's crazy. I want to ask you another question, and I know I'm probably going to forget it because I go off on tangents, but like it's crazy when you hear like the genre rap and hip hop and you're like, how could that change your life? And it's like it's so much deeper than that, right? Like it's so much deeper than that. So I just want to say, go listen to Queen Herbie. Go fucking listen to Queen Herbie. Even if you're not a hip hop girly, like I am in Wisconsin, I'm a Midwest girl. So like hip hop is kind of like, it's my way of exploring, like when you're in the Midwest, it's kind of like, hi. Yeah, people don't even know where Wisconsin is. Like when I say that I'm in Wisconsin, they're like, where is that? It's like, okay, cool. But yes, go listen to Queen Herbie. So I want to know, I'm really curious when you left Nebraska, was there a piece of you that was like ripping at the seams to get out and be free, as you called it? And did you create chaos with that freedom? Were you like, for me, it's like when I went through that season in my life, I didn't even know what to do with myself. I was like, how do I function? Where can I create the most chaos? So when you left, did you have to like go through that season of like self exploration? And how much chaos did you create during
So
that?
it's still happening now. That season of chaos and self-exploration is still, it actually became my purpose, was to discover myself at deeper levels all the time. But yes, I had my emo phase where I listened to My Chemical Romance, dyed my hair black, painted my nails, walked down the streets with my iPod. Like I was like full rebellion, joined a rock band, joined a girl group. I tried so many iterations of me, and we even saw me express myself as Carmen with my partner. Like we were Carmen, we were on the radio. Everything, all of this happened before Queen Herbie was even a idea in my brain.
Yeah, you were like on the Billboard, like top 100 Billboard, right? As that group.
For
Yeah.
sure. And we had so much, we were on Saturday Night Live.
What is the
I
episode out
know.
there? Where's the in the archives? I want. I want.
It's I forget which episode, but Zoe Deschanel is the host. I was on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. I mean, all of this before I became Queen Herbie. So again, shout out to anybody listening who is going through a transformation. Like, girl, I got you.
That's incredible. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Well, I know what I'm doing tonight. That's for sure. That's so wild. So, like you said, that your grandmother is somehow living through. I am like this crazy person. I'm pretty sure that I've like created my own religion where like I actively practice Buddhism, if I could get my tongue out of my ass, but I'm also like, I'm a vessel of God, right? Like I love how you talk about our ancestors being coded in our DNA because it's absolutely true. So you said that your grandmother is living through you. And it's like, are you living out that life only, or is there still like a piece of the child in you that you still like hold tenderness for and like live out her dream? Or is it just like you feel like your purpose is your grandmother's DNA because your dad manifested this, like he manifested this and didn't even know that he was manifesting it? Like, where is the duality there? You hold a lot of duality.
Absolutely. And don't we all? I mean,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
it's such a wild world to live in, and the more I learn, the more I'm like, all that matters is to create. All that matters is to like express. And I feel like what I've heard, I never met my grandmother, but what I heard is that she did not get to do those things. I've seen some photos of her wearing men's clothing in the 1980s, and that was like, wow, that's very interesting. That wasn't a common thing to do. And I thought, who was she? But you hit some amazing points. Like inner child is kind of everything. And inner child is who I have to access for my creativity. That's it. She's definitely a huge part of this. And I'm sure there are other ancestors, like my grandfather on my mother's side recently passed, and he communicates with me too. Like once I started really getting witchy and opening myself energetically to receive messages, like you said, oh, I saw the clock. The other day this woman pulled in front of me into like the neighbor's driveway and like took a ladybug out of her car to drop it onto a bush because she was like, lady, it was the ladybug. And I was like, this is so. And then I had to look up what's the metaphysical meaning of ladybug. And it's luck and protection. And I'm like, oh, this is probably somebody or some spirit giving me a message. So all the time now I'm just like talking to ancestors, reading signs, and accessing that inner child to create in a world of such chaos and duality.
That's wild. So when you're accessing this inner child piece of you, does it ever like derail your creativity? Like, do you ever like find something that's like, oh, I need a few days to fucking process this? Or
Mm.
is it like you can instantly alchemize what you find into something creative? Like, talk to me about that process a little bit.
Yes, I mean, the inner child is a child that carries all of your trauma and your pain too. So sometimes she doesn't want to make anything. She wants to cry. She wants to go deeper into one of those traumas and see like what's still showing up today in adult Queen Herby's life and what needs, what just possibly needs attention. Sometimes she just needs a hot bubble bath. Sometimes she needs to go to a museum or do something that she enjoys. Like I love the book The Artist's Way because she talks about taking yourself on an artist date once a week, like spending 1 hour alone. The inner child comes out a lot when I do those.
I can imagine. I can imagine that. So the your music talks a lot of it's like confidence and sovereignty. Do you feel like that was always a part of your creativity? Like, do you feel like that was always there? Or when did you start finding, I don't know, the fucking audacity to like the way that you speak, and your music is just so fucking powerful. Like, I know that you hear that a lot, but it really is. It's like the words that you say, I could listen to the song over and over again, like, but it wouldn't be like when I listen to the Hootie and the Blowfish song over and over again. It's not like, oh, okay,
Which we
well,
love. We still love Hootie.
it's like I pick new things out of the music every single time that I listen to it. And I feel like that's subconsciously intentional, and not a lot of people can do that. So like fucking talk to me about this. Like were you always able to do this? I know that you were into hip hop and that genre of music from like at a young age. So I'm assuming that you have a lot of practice with it. But
Yes, I do need to credit hip hop being the genre that freed me. So I didn't know, I grew up in church, so it was like, oh, like beautiful singing and reverence, and we are
yeah.
we are like, submissive to God. And it was like when I heard Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001 album, and he was talking about like it's a masculine expression of freedom and confidence, and I was like, well, of course I can feel that too. It doesn't matter my gender. I felt so powerful, and it was foreign to me. We don't have like people on the street corner downtown Nebraska rapping, and the art form is inherently free. It's like jazz. It's like any black music genre that has been given to the world at large. Like it's so free. The poetry in rap and the intricacy with which they drop the rhymes, and the it gets so, you can go as deep as you want. And I think a lot of times what bums me out when people are like, well, I don't really listen to rap. It's like, yeah, it's a, you have to like kind of appreciate those nuances. And to just a regular listener, it might sound simple, but it's actually so intricate and so ornate and stunning. Like some of my favorite lyricists are like Lil Wayne and Andre 3000, and some people can freestyle.
Gosh.
And it's like when Lil Wayne said, real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Stop it.
That's a
That
math equation.
literally just changed my life.
I have goosebumps everywhere, and I've heard that line 100 times. Like, this is just one of like millions of expressions from these Black artists that like woke me up when I was a young adolescent. And I wasn't allowed to listen to most of it because of the parental advisory sticker. So it was something that was forbidden, which made it even more desirable to me. And I never thought in a million years, babe, that I would be allowed to express myself this way. So when I blew up on YouTube rapping, what was that, 2011? You're gonna laugh later when you look up all these Carmen references. I just had my little retro hairstyle, and I was just like copying Lil Wayne and Busta Rhymes, and it blew up overnight, and we got the record deal, and all my whole life changed overnight. I thought I was just gonna sing, like pretty singing forever, and so hip hop saved my life, and it turned out that my unique expression in the genre is what is magical. And so sometimes it's something you just never expect, and like the things you really love that you're kind of like, ooh, I don't know. That's where you should go, babe. That's where you should always follow.
Well, I don't want to get emotional. Okay, so when you said that your uniqueness in this beautiful art form that is music is what sets you apart and why you're so successful at it. I shit you not. I heard one of your songs. I had typed into Spotify like upbeat meditation music or something because I didn't want to listen to meditation music. I wanted to listen to like empowerment music, right? I had just gotten out of the hospital. I checked myself into a mental wellness institution in like the end of 2024. I think, yeah, last year was 2025. And after that, I had booked a like stunning 5-star resort so that I could like transition back home after I got out. And I typed in like upbeat meditation music. And so I'm listening to like these incredible artists like that are now my favorite artists, and yours came up in the middle of this playlist, and that was the first time that I ever heard you. And I was like, whoa, this is so different. Like this is, I didn't even really categorize it as like hip hop or rap. It was just, it moved me, it moved my body, and I was like, holy fuck, I have to listen to this over and over and over again. So then I started typing in your name, and like it brought me to other artists, and I was like, okay, now I want to know, what would you tell musicians who are, because you're not, I don't hear your music on the radio. It comes up on Spotify. So like these musicians who are trying to make it and not mainstream, so to speak, like what insight would you give them?
Well, I feel so lucky because shout out to the algorithm for allowing us to find each other. That's so
Divine
magical.
intervention.
That like sometimes I'm like I hate the algorithm sometimes, and I think it's spiritual. So it's like I don't know if I hate it or love it. Maybe it's duality again.
It's aliens.
It is. It is. Had the luck in my life to do both. So I did the record label, like they owned everything and controlled everything. And now I'm fully independent as Qveen Herby. So that's the difference between my career as Carmen and my career as Qveen Herby is like, I am now the queen bitch of the whole operation. And we are in an era and an age where you can do that wildly successfully. And it just depends on how well you can like organize and maintain your sanity, because every day, I mean, just this morning I was like learning more about AI and how its role in what's coming, because now you can make a song like my songs in seconds on AI, and it's like always pivoting and adapting to what's happening. So I remember a time when I sat in a van for weeks on end meeting people at radio stations and begging them to play my song, to where now it's like, oh, I can just like find a niche of babes like us and like spend a little ad money or make posts on my Instagram that you can target. It's like there's such a different approach. And so anyone that's out there trying to make this happen, don't feel like you need a record deal to do it.
Yeah. That's so cool. It is wild. It's wild. How long does it take you to make a song?
Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 5 months.
Do you do all of your own editing?
My partner Nick does edit all my tracks. There's a Ben Folds song where he's like, producer with computers mixing all my shitty tracks, and we always we always laugh about it because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So Thank God. Thank Goddess for Nick.
Yeah. Thank goddess. Oh my gosh. That's the song. I'm gonna listen to that. Thank goddess. All
It
right,
is
getting good.
great. It's great to have help when you're doing this, by the way. I'm assembling a team, but it doesn't look like it used to, where you have manager, label. Now it's like marketing assistant, social media, content coordinator. Like they're different roles.
It's so wild. So, how old are you?
I am 39,
Okay, me too. When do you turn 40?
April 29.
Mine's October 29th.
Yeah. The universe spread us out 6 months so that it could handle the
So if
influx
it, yeah, they're like,
of bad
there is
bitch.
no way that, but our moms were pregnant with us at the same time.
That's so cool. Our
That is so cool.
souls, our souls bounced in and
I know.
checked in.
We intervened and we're like, listen, in 39 years, we're gonna have a fucking podcast interview.
Yeah,
We need to make sure to do this right.
exactly.
So, are you looking forward to your 40s then? Because
I
I
am. I am. I will say, they don't tell you that there's something that happens at 38, 39, maybe 40 for some people, where you have a bit of a meltdown.
I already knew you were gonna say that.
No one tells you.
No, it's like the weirdest meltdown too, because I don't feel shitty. I
Nope.
don't feel like something's missing. It's just different.
Yes.
It's an odd shift. And I had two partial hysterectomies in the last 2 years. And I thought that that was what was going to be like my midlife crisis where everything changed, especially when they were like, you can't keep your uterus. And I was like, but I want to plant a tree. And they're like, it's toxic. And I'm like, but it was actually the fact that the realization that I was going to turn 40, and it was the weirdest shift in energy. So, fuck yeah. I'm really excited to start my 40s. And Khloe Kardashian says that it's really fun.
A lot of people have told me it is the optimal time because you're actually making money and using all of your skills and experience, and it's all like aligning.
And leveraging your resources in the right way instead of just being a crazy person,
Yes.
And I also feel like, and I would love to hear your input on this. I also feel like I'm in full self-governance for the
Mm.
first time in my entire life. Like, I'm a recovering alcoholic and I've also been in this industry for like 17 years. And so for the longest time, it was always needed external validation. And as humans, we love external validations, right? I desire external validation, but I needed it before. So I would love to hear like how you operate in terms of self-governance, and how do you navigate when that just like isn't enough?
Yes, a trick that I learned was siphoning off my consciousness. So basically, I can tell that, so my government name is Amy. I can tell that Amy is struggling. I'll literally like try to separate my consciousness and just observe. So if I'm having a bad day where I used to just be fully in and drama and the whole thing, now it's like, oh, I'm just having a bad day. And I have this list of things that I can go to where I'm like, do this, do that, do that, like things that can kind of help soothe me through that moment, but not get like sucked into it. That was a big one. Slowing down was a huge theme for, I was like,
So
what?
hard.
I never saw this coming, but there's going to be a point where you decide to slow down and it's delicious. And you realize you were hustling and bustling for no fucking reason.
Mm.
So that was big, but it was very counterintuitive at first. You're like, even just walking to the fridge to get a glass of water slower feels like all the molecules in your body want to jump out and like go faster and stub your toe on the cabinet. Like, no, everything is slowing down in every way is
Have you been
beautiful.
spying on me?
It's even,
I keep my pinky toe on literally fucking everything. And I feel like that's God's way of saying like slow down. But it is. It's like I'm so resistant to it because I don't necessarily feel like I hustle at this point in my life, but I definitely am always moving. And so I really I really love that you use the analogy of stubbing your toe, because it's like I do that all the time. And now
yeah.
I'm wondering like which window have you been watching me out? And I'm sure a lot of listeners can resonate too. Okay, one last question. I really want to know this. Do you ever listen to your own music to like pump yourself up?
No, but I did it recently. I did it recently, and it was so, because as we're having this weird midlife crisis moment, I'm like reevaluating what I've done. Like, what have I actually accomplished in this life? And the other day I just I pulled up one of my, thank Goddess.
Thank God.
And you know how Spotify or the music service will just start playing another song and another song by the same artist? And I was just like sitting there basking in my own music, and I was like, this is pretty dope. And when I made I made an Oracle deck recently with each card is a song title. I'll pull one for you right now. This is the Oracle deck.
Please do. Please do.
Let's pull one for this interview because it's so magical. And I have enough songs now that I have a card deck full. These are all songs.
You made that?
I made this.
It's so beautiful.
I got really into merch production this year because I was like, how special is it to have that connection with the audience, but then when they can hold something in their hands? Oh, wow. Sorry, let me grab the card. It popped out.
It jumped out at you, huh?
It did. Oh, we got this. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the process. So
Girl, she's spying on me, listeners.
That's our message. How cute. So then I say, just listen to the song at some point today and let's see if there's any other messages, but sit back and enjoy the process. That's giving slow down. That's giving, it's all happening divinely.
Yeah, I always tell my clients, like, you have to enjoy the process before the byproduct. Like, you can't have a baby without fucking. So it's like, you might as well enjoy the process to get there. So this conversation was amazing. I want to know if you're doing anything in 2026 that we should be aware of.
Well, babes, I am going on tour and I'm so excited. I'm like internally screaming.
Where?
Everywhere in America and possibly Europe. We're getting all the details sorted, so I'll be announcing that at the end of this month.
Well, thank you so much for this dual conversation for the Rage Room and your exclusive interview for Auralis magazine. I'm so excited to connect. I will drop the links below to access Qveen Herby and all of her things so you can stay up to date on her tour, her music, her jams, her grandmother, her inner child, all of the things. And go check her out if you haven't checked her out, which I would find it really hard to believe if you haven't yet. But like she said, go listen to her music and buckle up, Buttercup, because you've got this. I'll talk to you all soon.